Hey guys, my name is Matimio, and welcome to another episode of Sunday Mailbox. This is a video series where you, the viewer, can submit your gaming or Battlefield 3 related questions, and then I will give my humble opinion on them. To get the formalities out of the way, if you would like to submit a question for a future episode, you can do so by leaving a comment down below, or by sending me a YouTube message. So the first question for today comes in from Low Crobo, who asks, Hey Matimio, Battlefield 4 has been confirmed for the next-gen consoles as well as current-gen consoles. I was wondering how the game will be able to function on current-gen consoles if the game is going to be much more advanced than Battlefield 3. Do you think this will take away from the game's potential? So, admittedly, I am a little worried because we kind of already experienced this for Battlefield 3. DICE had to make some cuts. They had to make the maps smaller. They had to make them more condensed. There wasn't as much destruction, all because the current gen systems, their hardware, just isn't up to standards, and they couldn't do everything that the Frostbite 2 engine is capable of. And so for Battlefield 4, I mean, they're upgrading the Frostbite 2 engine to the Frostbite 3, and if they're going to have all of these new cool features, things are going to be, you know, they're going to have a lot more stuff in the environments. How are they going to be able to do that with the current gen systems without making cuts? So hopefully that's not the case, and maybe they will make like two drastically different games, or they will balance each of the games depending on what system you're playing on. So the current gen, their maps are a lot smaller, there's a lot less in it, a lot less destruction, and they really dumb it down. And then for the PS4, the next gen systems, and for PC, everything's a lot more advanced. We really do get the game that we were expecting. I understand why they are going down this route. I understand why they're having it pretty much on every system, because they do want to sell as many copies, and that probably would be a pretty big risk if they only had it for the next gen and PC. I mean, we don't know what the price model is for the next ones, so it could be a pretty big risk if no one goes out and buys the PS4. Then that means that no one's really going to buy Battlefield 4, so I do understand that. But I just hope that we don't get a dumbed down version. I really want them to go all out, and this is something I'm a little worried about. So the next question for today is, I think that Mortar should be more efficient in a lot of cases, but the actual damage it causes in-game is so poor, making it a rather rarely used weapon. My idea is that DICE should increase the damage a mortar shell can do, like making its damage amount somewhere between a grenade and a C4, while limiting the amount of shells one can carry. So I get where you're coming from. The mortar in this game isn't really efficient. It's not very useful. But even still, I'm gonna have to go with a no on this, because I find that this mechanic in general is just dumb. I think that the mortar in this game has no place to be in it. First of all, it's so boring. You just sit in the backfield, you look at your minimap the entire time, and then you just kind of click every once in a while, and then you get a couple of kills, and then maybe that helps you take out a couple of people that were hiding behind some cover so that your allies can push up. But just the concept is so poorly implemented, and it's boring. Like it's just a bad game mechanic in my opinion. Personally, what I would like them to do is eliminate the mortar, or at least what they have right now, and have something like they did like in Bad Company 2, where you would have like your binoculars, you would have to be out in the open for a couple of seconds, but then you could have like a couple rain down on a location, but then you're constantly actively involved in the match, and you're not just sitting back in your deployment firing shells every couple of seconds and just kind of being an annoyance. If they increase the damage, it would get to the point where it's overpowered. I think when the game first released, it did do more damage, and it was just a nuisance because you would have like 3 or 4, maybe like 10 guys sitting in the backfield just dropping mortars all over the place, and it's, like I said, it's just not a fun mechanic because you're not actively engaged in the fight. And so, like I said, I would just like it to be more like in Bad Company 2, or just simply just eliminate it completely from the game. That's just kind of my 2 cents. So the final question for today comes in from Justanio, who asks, I was wondering your opinion on the idea that you can either reset your rank or achieve more than the max rank. A lot of people have reached max rank in Battlefield 3, myself included, and the game kind of loses a bit when there is no more progression to go through. Perhaps something like the prestige mode from Call of Duty would give a die-hard player more to work for. So first off, I have to ask you a question, and that is, how many ranks do you want DICE to give you? Because it takes a really long time to get to rank 100. I'm not even to rank 100, and I've played this game for well over 300, 400 hours. I put in my time with Battlefield 3, and while I know that my score per minute may not be insane, and that's just because I like to take these, I like to mix things up. I like to use terrible weapon challenges and stuff like that. So my score per minute isn't top of the tier, but it's still above average, and I'm still not rank 100. And even for the past, I think I'm like 83 right now, so like for the past 83 ranks, I haven't played Battlefield for the next rank. My goal in this game has never been, oh, I want to get to rank 84. I want to get to rank 90, so I'm even closer to 100. It's always been, I want to play the game to have fun. And so my question to you, I guess I'm asking a bunch of questions for you, is how many ranks do you want, and why do you think that you need these ranks to enjoy the game? It doesn't give you anything. I guess it gives you some sort of arbitrary goal that you've reached, but in the end, it's nothing. It's nothing. It doesn't, like, they don't give you any perks for being rank 100. I guess your logo changes a little bit so that you can show off to your friends that you've reached that, or you've achieved that. I guess what DICE could do is give you an infinite ranking system so that it just progressively, exponentially gets harder and harder the next rank, so you could get to like rank 1000, but it's gonna take you like 10,000 hours to get to that point. And I guess that system would be nice for those type of players that like to get to that point. But honestly, it's kind of like you should just be enjoying the game for what it is and not going after some sort of arbitrary rank that really doesn't mean anything. That's just my opinion. That's just kind of how I approach video games in general, and I would kind of hope that's how a lot of you guys approach it as well. But yeah, guys, that is about it for today's Sunday Mailbox. I hope you enjoyed. If you have a question that you would like me to answer in a future episode, you can do so by leaving a comment down below or by sending me a YouTube message. But until tomorrow, guys, have a good one and take it easy.